Alright. Welcome back, everyone. We are back for another Twitch stream. I'm your host, Mags, and we're going to once again watch me color this piece on GIMP. But, there's a twist today. I've decided I'm going to try and engage more with the audience and try to get the audience to engage more with each other. So today I was having a conversation with my friend Celeste, who is an awesome DJ based in Ottawa, DJ Celestial, shout outs. And me and her have a lot of funny back and forths. A few weeks ago, I had sent her an ad for like a something Barbie was doing. Like it was like an Instagram ad, and it was like a new line of Barbies, and they're all dressed kind of like early millennial Gen Z, and a lot of them were brown, black, queer coded, and the music that was playing, very like modern pop and all that stuff. And I thought it was cute. I was like, okay, that's cool. You have something for the kids that we didn't have, but it's good that the kids today have it. I sent it to her. She was very skeptical. She was like, I don't buy it. And I'm like, What's not to buy? What's the? She's like, I know Barbie ain't with the shits. I'm like, well, how much more with the shits do you want them to be? Like, you have Barbie vlogging on YouTube about like actual thoughtful serious matters, and now you've got this. I don't follow Barbie, but the little that I've seen of her in the last 2 years shows growth, so you can't really be mad at that. But she was kind of on a too little too late kind of tip, so that was the first thing. The second thing, today she like wrote something in a typo, and I joked that it was like, oh, maybe you meant to write it in a French accent, like Pepe Le Pew. And then we like reminisced about Pepe Le Pew. Like, I don't know if y'all remember him from Looney Tunes and how weird and predatory he was. And and she was of the mind that he was also a racist. And I was like, what? I don't remember him being racist. Like, I mean, are you arguing that he's racist because he thought this black cat with white patches was also a skunk? Because that just might make him stupid. I don't know. And she wasn't even talking about that. She was just saying, no, I just feel like, as a French coded character, they just be that way. And I'm like, they are that way, but I don't think his character was specifically racist. And then she was like, no, I feel like he made like an allusion to like slavery one time in one episode. I was like, huh? Nah, run me that video. And she did, and she realized, no, actually, no. She watched the video and remembered, oh, actually, he made an allusion to the cat being like freed from the slavery of being a human's pet, and not actually like the mid-Atlantic slave trade. But she's still convinced that somehow, some way, somewhere, Pepe Le Pew is racist. So that is basically what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be dissecting our childhood favorites and seeing how problematic they were, and seeing if any of those problematic behaviors rubbed off on any of you, or if you just think they're funny. So without further ado, we're going to stop talking about that for a little minute while I pull up today's soundtrack, Loop Sessions 45, because that is the little puppy that we are coloring in today. Decided I was going to give her a Visco Girl vibe. And if you don't know what a Visco Girl is, I would suggest you Google it while I work on this piece. So without further ado, let's go ahead and play some music.
Yo, 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 yo.
I can't figure out? I can't figure out what a smart guy like you is still doing that shit for.
Come on, you do this shit. I do the sound.
End of the impasse, face mask. End of the impasse, face mask. End of the impasse, face mask. End of the impasse, face mask.
Schmings writes in, I do wonder if Pepe Le Pew's incessant badgering of that poor cat enforced unhealthy heteronormative attitudes in male-female courtship with this stinking ass. Not only did they reinforce them, they pretty much reflected them, like how they were at the time. Like you see it all the time in like black and white movies where the guy he talks like this and is super incessant in pursuing a poor lady who just wants to be about her business, because back then you couldn't be a lady of a certain age and not have a man on your arm. And like that poor cat probably has like PTSD at this point, because every episode she gets something on her back, like paint or something, and all of a sudden she looks like a skunk, and I'm like, this man seems very desperate if he doesn't know what his own species looks like, to be now harassing this poor creature. um but yes, that is definitely something to think about. And how do you find that things have changed or not changed nowadays compared to then?
Cats online. Cats on.
I have no idea what I'm doing, really.
You can't call him OG Team Swirl. You can't do that. Why? Because he was literally black and white. Um, you hope that things have changed since women have found a bit of agency in their own romantic lives. You would think. But no, it's gotten, I think, even more complicated since we found agency in our own romantic lives. Because now there's these double standards and these expectations, and um, a lot of the times guys find themselves on the more bitter end of things because they grow up expecting a certain ease in approaching girls, and when they find out that it's actually not that easy, and they find out that no, they actually aren't entitled to a woman's attention, they either resort to violence because of unchecked um, expression of emotions, or they'll like berate the girl to find some kind of sense of control, or say something like, oh, she's probably a lesbian, and like there's nothing wrong with being a lesbian, but to think that a woman is only unattracted to you because they're not attracted to men as a whole is kind of ridiculous. And then you can go into the whole thing of like guys being afraid to be around other queer men because they're like, oh, that guy's gay, like what if he hits on me? And it's like, queer people are not attracted to the entirety of the population that they're attracted to. That's like saying men are attracted to the entirety of the female species. Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're admitting to? So I would love to have folks kind of reflect on that for a little bit. Also, while we're on the subject, since we're just coming off the heels of Valentine's Day, I think it's a disservice to men in general to paint a broad brush in the sense that, oh, all men want to bone and all men want certain things, and it's like that's not true. It That kind of thing makes it harder for men to come out as queer, and it also makes it harder for men that are attracted to women to come out as asexual or aromantic, because not all guys actually want to just bone. Some guys are just like that, you know? And sometimes a guy is just shitty because he's shitty, not just because he's trying to get in somebody's pants.
But we are the Borg. We will adapt. Alpha Quadrant. Prepare to be assimilated. Remodulate shields.
Hope everyone's doing well in the chat. Like I said earlier, we're gonna chit chat a bit about some of our favorite, albeit problematic, media characters from our childhood. So if you're so keen, why don't you go ahead and mention some of your problematic faves in the chat, and if I'm familiar enough with them, maybe I will give an opinion.
We wish to improve ourselves. We will adapt. Target acquired.
the GOAT problematic cartoon character is none other than Eric Cartman. Now, that's an easy answer because Eric Cartman is written to be problematic. Like, he's very explicitly written to be problematic, and that is the purpose he serves in South Park, along with a whole plethora of characters. South Park is satire. So to take a character like Eric Cartman or anybody in that show and say, "Oh yeah, that was one of my favorite problematic characters," it's like it's obvious because he's supposed to be. I want you to really think about a character that you grew up with where it's like they were not meant to be overtly like problematic in that sense, but you remember some of the things that they say and do, and you're like, oh, that didn't age well, you know? Oh, yes, I totally agree. Bugs Bunny definitely had a lot of problematic moments, but I'd be curious to know um, what moments you're thinking of in regards to the mouse himself. Please elaborate. I'd love to hear more. . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . Mouse. That's a very old Mickey episode. I think the guy's name is Mortimer. Yeah, Mortimer Mouse, a real tall, scummy guy. Um, um, well, I mean, when you think of the origin of most funny animal cartoons, they are all based in minstrel shows and things like that, and like wearing gloves and all sorts of things. I mean, the gloves is mostly because the animals were animated in black and white, and in order to like differentiate the digits from any other part of their body that they were interacting with, they drew the gloves to make things look easier, but they're very much tied to the whole minstrel aesthetic. So the very foundation of most black and white cartoons like Mickey, Felix, um, or what was the first character's name? Because there was a rabbit before Mickey, and he was like the first actual Disney mascot. Somebody will have to look that up. But yeah, please continue.
it, I make it a beat, yeah. Whoa. I chop it, I make it a beat, yeah. Hey. I chop it, I make it a beat, yeah. I chop it, I make it a beat, yeah. Whoa. chop it, I make it a beat. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I chop it, I make it a beat. Yeah, I chop it, I make it a beat. Yeah, I chop it, I make it a beat. Chop it, I make it a beat. I chop it, I make it a beat. I chop it, I make it a beat. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Wow.
I need a freak to rub my hair. Ay, I need a freak every day of the week. With her legs in the air. I want a freak who just don't care. Ay, I need a freak with a big ass butt, make all the niggas stare. I need a freak, bounce to the beat. Yeah. Freak hoe, tell me what to eat. Yeah. freak, girl, tell me where to sleep. Swallow on the meat, tell me if it's sweet. Yeah, I like a freak. Do it in the car, leave, come on the seat. Do it in the dark, I don't even wanna see. Open up your door, I got a big ass key. Yeah, like a free throw, baby, be your niece. So nice, make her say please. Like a lolly, lick it till it's clean. She looked at me, said, baby, what you mean? I need a freak to rub my hair. Ay, I need a freak every day of the week. Let her legs in the air. I want a freak, just don't care. Ay, I need a freak with a big ass butt, make all the niggas stare.
Oh, you looking for a freak? I'm the biggest one. I could do a trick you ain't know make you come. Big ghetto booty, bougie, choosy, ain't giving up the pussy for a dinner and a movie. I need me a nasty ass nigga that don't care. Struggle with my ex cause I had the nigga scared. You ain't eating what you here for, baby. I'm a nympho, known to keep a nigga on rock like a Flintstone. Real freaks don't trip, they come and then dip. Treat them like party favors, I pass them like chips. Get my nut, then what? I'm back to business, a good lick and a trick. That's all that he is.
I need a freak to rub my hair. Ay, I need a freak every day of the week. Let her legs in the air. I want a freak, just don't care. Ay, I need a freak with a big ass butt, make all the niggas stare. Ay, I got a bitch named Ashley, she don't even ask me. Suck a nigga up with Britney in the backseat. Brand new bitch, paparazzi think she Cassie. Tell her make it nasty, spit like Daffy. I ain't Billie Jean, but the bitch call me daddy. Diamonds in my ear got me feeling like Gatsby. House full of hoes, you can only imagine. 5 in the morning getting ghosts like cat. I need a freak.
If I'm not mistaken, someone has just gone live on Twitch. It's none other than the man himself, Magnanimous. He didn't teach me how to raid, so I don't know if I'll be able to do that. And we're reaching the top of the hour, and this character's almost done. But who knows? Maybe I'll just Google it and find out. What up, Celeste? You came just in time. We're actually almost done around here, so if you want to leave your argument as to why you believe Pepe Le Pew is a racist personality, speak now or forever hold your peace.
Cuando el viejo José Arcadio Buendía salió de Riohacha y llegó a Macondo, organizó las 20 casas de tal modo que a todas les diera la misma cantidad de sol durante el día y tuvieran la misma distancia de ahí al río para ir a traer.
La violencia sacude Colombia por las protestas tras la muerte de un abogado a manos de 2 policías. Han dejado al menos 5 fallecidos en Bogotá, decenas de heridos, saqueos, vehículos incendiados y estaciones de policía destruidas en la capital y en otras.
The accent is racist. Do you think that the voice actor who's pretending to be French is racist? Or do you think that Pepe Le Pew's French accent makes you believe that Pepe Le Pew as a character is racist?
En el norte de Colombia en 3 nuevos ataques.
I think you can separate the two. Because you can be a racist voice actor and put on a stereotypical French accent, but the character in itself would not necessarily be racist. And the belief that you think everybody with a French accent is racist might be slightly problematic.
De Bolívar informan de 4 decesos y varios heridos. Las autoridades no han confirmado la información de los ataques ni la cifra de fallecidos. Tan solo anunciaron que militares y policías se desplazaron a la zona de Zaragoza. Por su parte, el Centro de Pensamiento sobre el Conflicto Armado reporta que en una de las masacres habría perdido la vida un menor de edad. La organización Indepaz denuncia que no se trata de hechos aislados y aseguran que es sistemática esta situación en Colombia.
Of course, there is also the problem with the peace talk, with the peace process with the FARC that is falling apart. There are incredible number of new armed groups killing in the rural areas of Colombia, and just in the month of September there have been 6 mass killings. So this huge wave of mass killing is generating, and was generating a lot of protest even before what happened to the lawyer that was killed on Wednesday.
I'm just trying to get a grip on reality. Type of shit make you switch your mentality. Cause I ain't trying to be a Vic or a casualty. And the seed don't fall far from the apple tree. I'm on a mission to put an end to the slipping. Playing my position by bringing light to the vision. Kill it instant like Kobe whenever the clock ticking. Hoodie season is colder, so know that the plot thicken. I'm not switching, just sticking to the scripting. That be good with the mic like Scott Pippen. I gotta get it regardless of the environment. First, if I
Celeste, you had all day to prepare your arguments. So Celeste says, I just think whoever created his character had to have been some white dude who was probably racist. So by nature of proximity, Pepe is likely racist too. That's a really terrible argument because shows like Rugrats and Steven Universe were created by white people. You're telling me Susie Carmichael is racist because a white person created her character? This is why you can't let Sagittarians debate anything.
And that's the bottom line.
Mario, you're still here. Thank you. Yes. LS45 dog is adorable. She's a Visco girl. I mentioned this at the top of the hour. You probably don't know what a Visco girl is, but that's what she is. That's a Visco girl. Celeste probably knows what a Visco girl is, but you need to look up what a Visco girl is. So while I finish this one up with the highlight, why don't you two introduce yourselves and let each other know why you think Pepe Le Pew is racist in your own respective arguments. Okay, what's going on here? Okay, so Mario thinks that Pepe Le Pew has a superiority complex. Can't get the girl and takes it personally. No respect for boundaries. I would have loved to see How is he gonna have a side piece? If he had a side piece, he wouldn't be so obsessed with that girl though. That's the whole thing. He like roams the earth trying to find a mate, and as soon as he locates one small mammal with a stripe down their back, he's fixated. I think if he had a side piece, he wouldn't be having the issue of trying to make someone jealous. That just doesn't even compute. Someone that desperate could not get a side piece if they tried. So the idea that Pepe would have a side piece to make that cat jealous is asinine to say the least, but I appreciate your argument. Maybe a squirrel, but there were no squirrels in any of the Looney Tunes shows, were there? I don't know why there weren't. Oh, Mario, oh my god. My mic was muted that whole time, sorry. So yeah, that concludes the Loop Sessions 45 dog. She's a cute little Visco girl with her little bottle because she has to stay hydrated. And she's got her little Birks, her oversized shirt, and a cute little bag. Mario, since you know nothing about Visco girls, I'm going to let Celeste name her. Celeste, I trust you to give Miss Thing over here a cute name. So I'm going to let you do that while I don't know, should I go get a soda? Should I get some snacks? I just ate a waffle. So I'm kind of full right now. And I already finished my hot Cheetos because I ate it with my chili for lunch. Let me read all the things y'all were saying. No regular, degular French man with an accent thick as his is supportive of my life. He sounds like he would swear at me in the coffee shop. I don't know that that's entirely true, Celeste. Maybe in Ottawa, but that's not true of every person with a French accent. Now you just stereotyping, and like, you gotta remember, I come from a francophone family, and I went to a French school my whole life. Would you say that of my family? Well, no, you wouldn't because they're black, but like, I don't know. Judging by the accent might be a little strange. I mean, it would have to be in combination with more things, but I don't know. I'm going to keep reading. No, not you getting on board with his team swirl nonsense. Don't entertain that. No. No, Celeste, that's not what you were saying. You were not saying that he was Team Swirl. You were just saying that he was outright racist. And Mario is agreeing by saying, well, he is a Frenchman after all. Y'all is silly. Silly, 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 silly. Tammy Telfer? Okay, fine. Only because Tammy is very much a Visco girl name. So I will give you that one. And on that note, I'm going to conclude tonight's stream. Thank you all for tuning in. Where do you stand on the matter? Yes, Tammy Celeste. Doesn't she kind of look like a Tammy? I think she could be a Tammy. A middle name. Okay, I'll let you come up with a middle name while I give my comments. My opinion on the matter is that the idea that every French individual is racist on principle is um, not entirely baseless, but still kind of harmful. Just because if a person speaks a certain way, they have to be of a certain mentality. And I know that, you can't really apply that to people from like white countries and things. We're talking about France French. Have you ever met a famous Quebecer Looney Tunes character? No. And no, I don't think we need to distinguish all, like, each French accent, because yeah, we're talking about red, white, and blue Frenchmen, but the Quebecois people are not better. Like, Quebecois people are like the hick racists, and then French people are like the bougie racists. They're both racist. And the only people that speak French that aren't inherently racist are the people that were colonized. So I don't want to hear that. My opinion is that Pepe Le Pew is problematic and misogynistic. I don't know that he's racist because he has a French accent. That's kind of weird. It's just weird to say, oh, I don't like that person because they have an accent. And by virtue of the place that accent comes from, that person's probably racist. The probability of Pepe Le Pew being racist is very high, but also if he's willing to sleep with a cat just because they have a stripe down their back, I don't think they're quite the purest. And racists tend to be a bit of a purist. And it's not like he quite fetishizes the cat either, because if it were not for the stripe and he just had like a cat fetish, then sure, that's another argument. The racism with Pepe is the stereotype that, yes, that's what I specified at the beginning. I'm not talking about the conceptualization of Pepe Le Pew as being racist, because there's no doubt, because not all French people speak like oui oui bonjour, they're not all hopeless romantics, and they don't all stink. That's the concept of Pepe Le Pew as a stinky Frenchman is racist. But if Pepe Le Pew were a human being, like a real person, would Pepe Le Pew be racist? That's the question. And my answer is not necessarily. I mean, that also came out in like the 1940s. So statistically speaking, no, Celeste, we can't assume that all the cartoons were. Do you mean the characters or like the concepts of the characters? Because a lot of them were racist. Like if you watch Tom and Jerry, like the Mammy character is literally like a faceless, big butt black woman who speaks jive and sounds uneducated, and they had to redub her before they could air it on TV. Like the way that you hear her speak on Cartoon Network is not the way that it was originally recorded. Like most cartoons from back then had like racist writers and racist cartoonists, just because society as a whole was very much more overtly racist. But like the characters is another story, and maybe we'll get into that on another stream. I might stream tomorrow. I might as well, because like we only have 2 characters on this sheet left, and I don't see why we can't stream tomorrow and Sunday to conclude that. And so I'll be signing off now. My sister is speaking on a panel tomorrow for McGill. She's giving the keynote speech. Very proud of her for the the Africa Speaks conference happening. It started today, but her keynote starts at 1:30 tomorrow. And if you want details about that, you can just DM me. But other than that, Loop Sessions is happening Wednesday, February 24th, is it? Yeah, so next week, Wednesday. And I will see you all next time. Peace.